Welcome back to Brutal Mode EX Plus. This is part 11 of the Brutal Mode EX Plus mod, the mod that makes the game much harder. I suggest you watch the previous parts first since most things are changed. Last time we ended on Unsodded, so we continue with the remaining minigames. We start on Big Time. It's a fairly simple minigame. In Big Time, sunflowers are big, so they give 50 sun instead of 25 only. Sunflowers are incredibly overpowered this level specifically, as they are twice as good, so it only makes sense for us to imitate it. The only early game we need is just spamming blowers as stalling and cherry bomb as cleanup. Then we can afford winter melons immediately because of how much sun we have. Spamming winter melons and plantains will finish off the level easily thanks to their extremely high splash damage. As explained, only 2 columns of winter melons with plantain is enough to beat any density of zombies. Tall nuts here are just so they can block pole vaulters that spawn from bungee ambushes and also survive more hits from gargantuars. There should be no chance that any zombie even touches your tall nuts because you have a full board of winter melons. So use blowers to push back ambush zombies, and there's that. Our challenge sunflower is next, and I think you see the objective here already. But
oh no.
Ah yes, return of the most balanced zombie in this game. We begin the level by sacrificing 2 lawnmowers to get our sun production going. Very quickly though, you can't stall the cone pea shooters much longer with just lawnmowers, and they begin attacking our sunflower rows, and early walnuts have to be placed to prevent further damages caused by them. Not only that, we have to lose more sunflowers as well because we can't afford to protect them either with our crappy sun production. After which, we still have to deal with the dancing zombies that come into play midway through flag 1, and they are absolutely ferocious. One spawns every single wave, forcing out more instant kills. This then quickly devolves into an overwhelm of zombies crushing our hopes and dreams. I mean, this is just absolutely horrendous. The overwhelm obviously doesn't stop there, and you are pretty much completely done for once the first like density of zombies appear. Without garlics defending against cone pea shooter zombies, it's just completely impossible, so I return to a variation of the dumb strategy to beat this level. However, what makes garlics much less effective here is we don't have much space for our sunflowers, because all these starfruits and umbrella leaf seeds blocking us from planting. Naturally, after planting up all the sunflowers we can, we begin planting starfruits to kill off the zombies. Oh, but we still have more problems at hand. Dancing zombies can directly summon backup dancers into the sunflowers from all 4 directions, and it is impossible to prevent it unless the dancing zombie dies instantly. As mentioned, they spawn every wave, so it is also a difficult job for us to try and protect our sunflowers that are in the front from being eaten alive by the backup dancers. Problems don't end there. After the first flag, catapult zombies start spawning, and obviously these guys instantly destroy our garlics with ease, and it's impossible to react to them. And not long after the first flag, garlics gets crushed, sunflowers get demolished by dancing zombies, and the rest of the horde of the zombies arrive to crush our hopes and dreams again. The absolute key to beating any art challenge minigame is the same. Beating it as quickly as possible, speedrun style, secures in a win for us before we need to deal with troublesome zombies later on. That's why in our next attempt, Imitator Sunflower is brought out to ramp up sun production rapidly in the early game. We need a lot of sun to plant all the necessary plants to beat this. When we're almost done planting sun production, that's the time to start planting starfruit. Now mind you, starfruits have slow recharge in this mod, so you need to start planting them quick. By quick, I mean like off cooldown quick. Garlics will help you keep these starfruits safe, obviously, so just make sure to use blower to push zombies into starfruit's view to kill them off. There shouldn't be any issues until the first dancing zombies come into play. Then sunflowers are not very much defendable, so it's best to just let them die and focus on trying to get the last few plants in. Starfruits have the same cooldown as walnuts, so it's only necessary to start planting your walnuts when you're down to 3 starfruits left. Then, at the first flag, make sure to doom shroom to stall for time and prevent the high density flag from killing you. Then, by the next flag, you should be just in time to beat the level before catapults demolish the rest of your defense. Air Raid is up next, the minigame with only balloons. Air Raid is sort of like Bobsled Bonanza and Pogo Party, but with 5 different zombies. Now this at first doesn't seem all that bad, but oh boy, was I completely wrong. Firstly, with only pop shrooms, it is completely impossible to defend against pole vaulters. Like, you literally just don't have enough time to kill them because you need 3 puff shrooms for each pole vaulter, and they come in 2 different rows at once. Oh, but that's not like the only problem here. Balloon zombies come early on in the level. At this moment in time, we just don't have enough sun yet to buy cattail to defend against them. And, well, they also move faster, and cactus isn't gonna work because it's too expensive. But we can just let our lawnmowers take them out, and we can save up our cattail, right? Very quickly, you can see how ridiculous this is. It's impossible to buy anything that can actually deal with balloon zombies that early on, and they fly over lawnmowers. So what can we do? The only thing that you can do is simply hope balloon zombies don't spawn in the first few waves of the level. Perfectly fair and balanced level design right here if I've seen it before. Otherwise, you're forced to spend 125 sun on a blower for every wave with balloon zombie in it, which instantly sets your progress towards a cattail back to 0 again. Even though, yes, we're alive, this run ends pretty quickly because we have no more pool cleaners left to keep using on new Dolphin Rider zombies, which we've ignored for the whole level to not die to balloon zombies. Is there any other way to actually solve this? Nope. Hope and determination is the only way out of this, and you better hope that the first balloon zombie spawns as late as possible. It's also noteworthy to mention that I've been using Imitator Puff Shroom to get enough Puff Shrooms against the pole vaulting zombies in the early game. And very simply, as long as we get to the 4th wave of the level without seeing a single balloon zombie, we're good to go to get a cattail before the 5th wave of zombies gets sent in. And now with a cattail, the rest of the level is smooth sailing. It will carry your defense completely in cleaning up basically anything and negate basically all balloon zombies. Also, make sure to get a planter for your cattail army as it doubles the DPS of the cattail, as well as bring in Gravebuster to profit from the gravestone spawned in by pole vaulters. Now just use Doom Shroom sparingly throughout the rest of the level and grow your cattail army, and this level really shouldn't be hard, if at all at this point, to beat. High Gravity is a minigame that, as the name implies, gravity is higher than usual in this level. All shooting planes are now affected by strong gravity, pulling their projectiles down, causing them to hit the ground and miss the zombies unless at very close proximity. Thankfully, the minigame is left unchanged from vanilla, so the zombies we have to deal with are exactly the same. Without Melon Bolts being useful here, we can return to one of the lesser used but very decent plants, Chompers. It's perfect for a level like this with only 2 flags to secure a proper win. Insta-kill every zombie and make extra sun in the process to wall zombies off using tauntlets is actually very legitimate. Its main advantage here is that we need to have something that kills letterhead zombies, which if we try to do that with fume shrooms, could be a bit too expensive to set up. The level is pretty straightforward because chompers are just super neat to mitigate target zombies variants and make sure we don't lose to a random gargantuar. I also stocked up doom shrooms. As for balloon zombies, you can spam blower as Chomper generates even more sun for us to do so. Detonate a few nukes to beat the final wave, and let's move right on from this level. But the difficulty of levels don't get easier. In the next level, Grave Danger, graves are dangerous as Gravebuster is banned in this nighttime level. On top of that, we have Zombonis in nighttime as well as pole vaulters who spawn more graves than those that already exist. As you can see, this is actually a free flag level, different from the 2 flag format we usually see for Grave Danger, which makes this level drastically difficult later on, as you will see. The early game starts just like any other normal nighttime level, but of course we now have Doom Shroom and Imitator, so that makes it a lot easier for us to get past. The more interesting part begins when you're close to the first flag. Gravestones start spawning regularly every wave like in the nighttime survival game modes. What's worse is that grave ambushes are also happening every single flag instead of just the final wave this level, making it much harder to stall every flag. Without Gravebuster, these naturally spawning gravestones will cover basically the entire right half of the screen, leaving us with only 4 columns left to deal with all the zombies when that eventually happens. I tried defending with Lantern and Fume Shroom, but honestly, they are pretty useless because there's no way to fit enough Fume Shrooms to kill off Zombonis with the amount of space we have. I just ended up using Doom Shroom for every wave of zombies and tried to stay alive by spamming it, but it really doesn't help. I have some random Fume Shrooms doing basically no damage. These Fume Shrooms were actually more of a liability here because I wasn't making enough sun from just a few Sun Shrooms to keep up with the Doom Shroom cycle at this level. And very quickly, my inability to kill off the flag zombie on the second flag is the end of the level as all my sun gets drained. So quickly, I adapted to a more appropriate strategy to beat this level. The strategy being spamming some producers to spam instant kills later on in the level. I brought in all 3 Sunflower, Sunshroom, and Twin Sunflower to absolutely maximize the sun we could make, and Puff Shroom served quite well as just the early game defender while we set up our sun production army. Afterwards, I planted a full column of tall nuts to wall off the pole vaulters to make sure they can't summon more gravestones, and make sure to do this on the 4th column so gravestones can't override them later on. We also have Ice Shroom and Imitator Ice Shroom for maximum stalling, as well as Blower to push back any zombies that may be a threat to our tall nuts. And it's optimal to pick double Ice Shroom instead here, because we don't have enough space to use Imitator Doom Shroom effectively. Just keep spamming the Ice Shroom and Imitator Ice Shroom, and a good thing to note is that they now freeze the Zomboni as well, so you can use them to stall Zombonis too. Last plant here is Pumpkin, which is good because you can plant it on top of a tall nut and not dig it up for an explosion when it dies, so it ends up working better than Cherry Bomb. And with just Doom Shroom as our main damage dealer, we are able to beat this level. Pretty straightforward. The next level, Can You Dig It, is the most boring minigame by far, by a considerable margin. You start with a whole lot of tall nuts, and it's a conveyor belt level where the only plant is Pea Shooter. The objective is survive 3 flags of just basic zombies and Conehead zombies. Yup, this level is as boring as it sounds from what I just said. It's literally just that. Now, for the whole level, you simply dig up the backmost 4 columns for Pea Shooters, which is the most optimal amount, and then you just plant the rest of your Pea Shooters as cannon fodders. And then you just repeat this, and you repeat this again, and again you just keep planting these cannon fodders. And you just keep planting Pea Shooters until the level is over. You either win or lose because of the RG of the Conehead zombie variants. Neat level design, to be honest with you. The level is straight up just down to RNG, so there's no reason for me to even show you more of it. So I sped the gameplay up by a lot, and yeah, eventually you'll get good enough at praying to RNGs and beat this level because of pure skill. Dark Stormy Night is like 410, but with different zombies and different plants. There are now just Dolphin Riders and Balloon Zombies on top of Coneheads and basic zombies. This level is basically a repeat of level 4-4 as it has the exact same zombies, but we have to use much weaker options like Pea Shooters and Cactus to survive for 3 flags. Initially, I just split my defense evenly across all 6 rows, planting from the backmost column, but I quickly realized how bad this was against all the Dolphin Riders in the water. More often than not, multiple Dolphin Riders spawn at once in the water, and with 1-to-1 ratio of attackers against Dolphin Riders, it isn't really a good strategy to defend them off. In the meantime, we're not doing that bad, despite us having lost most of our defense in the water already, as there are enough Cherry Bombs to use every wave on just Dolphin Riders. And further on in the level, there is just not a solution anymore. Even the ground lanes are getting very crowded with just basic zombies, and hordes of letterheads are pretty difficult to stop. Eventually, Cactus can't even keep up with the amount of balloon zombies this level, and we managed to lose the balloon zombies flying over our lawnmowers. In the second attempt, I had done much more careful planning on where to plant each plant and designated each column to a particular plant. The backmost 2 columns are reserved for Cactus, as they are the highest DPS plant this level, even higher than the Pea Shooter, which can only go up to 50% above its initial speed. The next 3 columns are reserved for Pea Shooters, making sure I plant in the 3rd column, then the 4th, and then the 5th to ensure to farm up attack speed on the backmost Pea Shooters first. The rest of the space in front of the 5-column defense is for Puff Shrooms, to block off any necessary hordes of zombies, as we want the short-range Puff Shrooms to have full uptime. We still have to rely on Cherry Bombs in the water to kill off any Dolphin Riders, but with better optimization on the ground lanes, we can fend them off without using Cherry Bombs. With a bit more strategic planning and positioning, we are able to beat Dark Stormy Night with not that big of a problem. Bungee Blitz is the next minigame, which is level 5-5, but as a minigame. Well, if you remember 5-5, it was one of the easiest levels in the game as you get so many instant kills. It's basically impossible to lose. Problem is... yes, so the length of the level is doubled, but we still get the same plants, and yet the density of zombies will keep increasing after the 2nd and 3rd flag of this level. So it ain't going to be pretty. The early game is not worth mentioning as it's just the same as 5-5, so let's get right into the juicy parts of this level. Firstly, 4 flags means double the chances of bad RNG from Bungee Zombies variants. Now I remind you of the wonderful balancing of Bungee Zombies in this game with this clip here. As always, completely fair and balanced. Very quickly after that, the amount of chompers is simply not enough and I can't even get to the 2nd flag because of bad spawns. Way to go! Let's say you were on average luck and made it to the 2nd flag just like how the level would be played out in 5-5. This is that scenario right here, an attempt 2 of playing this. Making it to the 2nd flag only marks the beginning of the extended part of this level that gets increasingly more difficult. The game only starts sending more zombies, and at this point, the zombie density increases to the point where literally every tile where a zombie could spawn, there's a zombie that gets spawned. It becomes impossible to catch up with Chomper, and you only get a short little break before the third flag, which isn't even that much of a break considering we lost a couple roof cleaners. Shortly then after, the nightmares continue and you get completely rolled over by the amount of ladder zombies, outright invalidating your pumpkins, ending the run promptly. This level is impossible to survive without having RNGs on your side. Ladder zombies galore invalidate any pumpkins you've planted down, and chompers do basically nothing past the third flag. Without sufficient instant kills to deal with this mess of zombies every wave, you will just eventually lose to the sheer amount of things that are on the screen. You also have to appreciate the number of bucketheads that spawn throughout the level. The extra bungee ambushes from target zombies makes it even more chaotic, as some zombies are impossible to kill like catapult zombies. Just look at the absolute spam this level is. It's just horrendous. So yeah, go try this level for yourself. It ain't pretty, but it sure is dependent on how many cherry bombs you can get past the third flag to not completely lose to the impossible to defend horde. Obviously, bad luck has to run out at some point of playing this minigame, and this attempt was that. Somehow, miraculously, in a turn of events, I was able to defend using only pumpkins. That is because I skillfully stopped any ladder zombies from going into rows 2 and 4, so I could just plant pumpkins there, each wave to eliminate the hordes of zombies. And with some praying to RNGs, that's about Bungee Blitz completed. That brings us on to the last minigame in the limbo page. That's Squirrel. The goal of this level is to find the squirrels in the nuts. You win by literally digging up all the tall nuts on the lawn before a basic zombie reaches your house. That's it. So the strategy here is the same as the strategy I showed in the previous time I played Squirrel. Hotkey to your shovel is yep, and on your to make this minigame last 10 seconds instead of 20 seconds. Wait, but the video is not over yet. That's because we haven't finished off the minigames quite just yet. You might remember we have never actually finished off It's Raining Seeds, and oh boy, I can promise you, this level is actually just terrible in terms of its overall design. Let me get you back up to speed if you forgot why we didn't complete It's Raining Seeds previously.
It was at this moment that he knew.
So yes, let me remind you again. The entire level is an RNG fest without even first taking into account of how the different variants of each zombie often leads to your demise because of the lack of control you have over the plants you can get. The main culprit this level mainly being the newspaper zombie. If you don't get a tall net or walnut to block it off, there's literally no chance any plant can kill it properly early on here. Not only that, but early game football zombies are essentially unkillable because on average, the plants in this game don't really do that much damage, and again, no walls, then you lose. What's worse is that the random assortment of crap you get includes things like Gravebuster. Like, really? Why would I want Gravebuster in a level with no pole vaulters? Oh, and again, this zombie. The absolute BS this level makes you go through is just immeasurable when compared to literally any other minigame in this mod. Newspaper zombies are just completely unfair. It's not one time, 2 times, it's literally almost every single time. Newspaper zombies are the reason why you lose. And what do you get to defend it? Ah yes, I sure do love having 10 lily pads with no plants to plant on it. Oh, and it gets better from that. Screen door zombies in a level where you cannot choose what plants you get. So basically imagine trying to kill jester zombies with pea-shooting plants. This is such great level design. If you thought those losses against newspaper zombies were funny enough, add it into the mix of whatever the hell this level is trying to make you do, we also have target zombies this level. Oh, and if you thought because you got tall nuts in the early game to survive newspaper zombies and you're safe from them, you would be wrong. Not even that saves you. And well, the game is never short of random garbage that manages to screw you over in this level in every way possible. You can get 0 attackers from the game and only get instant kills, so you literally stand no chance even against basic zombies because, well, all those lily pads sure do help you stay alive here. After about losing in 10 more different ways to newspaper zombies and football zombies, it was decided for my sanity to not endure the stupidity this level is. The answer was using safe scumming to beat this level, and it goes to show that this level might possibly be even harder than Unsodded, as you'll see how long it took to beat this. Firstly, what is even considered good in this level? Well, there's many different ways you could call it start tier good because you have a virtually infinite amount of variation to choose from. Maybe you could call it a good start if you get 4 tall nuts, or 4 melon pulse. There's no real way to decide if those plants are necessarily good, but one thing is for sure. 2 planterns is probably the most optimal point to start from. Plantern, of course, doubles the attack speed of every plant around it. It's the most reasonable to assume that the difference this plant makes is basically making the game twice as easy to beat in the first place because each plant is twice as good. So, I decided to start from this point here, with 2 planterns to start from before the first flag. Again, we apply the same rules of safe scumming to this level just like in the last video. I'll only be using one single save state for each flag this level has, so it's easier to watch and understand. And immediately, off to not a great start, with no answer to this screen door zombie here as we get a Grave Buster. Instantly rewarded for saving the game in the previous wave, because this run would have ended promptly if we didn't. To those who've never watched safe scumming before, safe scumming in PvZ requires the use of the File Explorer to reload the game in its previous state by inserting a copy of our old save file. The zombies that spawn will be exactly the same every time we reboot our save state, but the lanes in which they come in will change, as well as the plants we get from the sky. So yes, the screen door zombie will still spawn, but this time because we reloaded the level, the lane it spawns changes instead into the lane with a cabbage pole, allowing us to kill it. And in this run, since the Jack-in-the-Box zombie exploded down our walnuts, we lose to a football zombie. But no problem, we just reboot our old save file to get right back to where we were. And even with safe scumming, things are not looking great here. These football zombies are absolutely brutal, and even with our buffed up plants under Plantern, we can't whittle down their massive health. Well, isn't this just beautiful now? 4 football zombies crammed into one row, and I'm supposed to deal with this. If you think that safe scumming will trivialize the level, it only reduces the time I am personally spending to beat this level, so I don't need to replay the level entirely whenever I lose. I am still losing a lot of times to even get to the end, and the game is just absolutely ridiculous at times when you look at the amount of newspaper zombies and football zombies getting sent. After about 10 attempts, there was finally a run where I managed to plant down 4 toilets in the ground lanes to finally grant ourselves permanent newspaper zombie protection. And understandably so, these tallnuts are good enough to let us make it to the next flag in the level, as we have an assortment of just random junk next to our planterns. Do note that the ground lanes need to be much heavily defended compared to the water lanes, as there are no dolphin riders or even snorkel zombies this level. You can get away in the water with just a split pea. I'll make a safe state before the second flag to start beating this section of this level with a pretty nice setup of 4 tallnuts. And immediately, this happens. Well, not every attempt will look like that, but it's mostly a question of whether your defensive wall plants stay up or not. As long as the tallnuts remain alive and not get exploded by Jack-in-the-Box zombies, I can pretty confidently tell you that the attacking plants will take care of business. Now, on our second attempt of playing this safe state, I was already able to make it to the first flag of the level relatively easily, but no, this defense is half busted with no tallnuts in the bottom. So naturally, I made another safe state here and tried to beat this level's last 10 waves with this setup, but without wall plants at the bottom, it's just very improbable to live against newspapers. Not only that, the density of zombies is so high to the point they're outright eating our tallnuts dead. Well, we have to replay this section again then, I suppose. Unfortunately, it's just not as simple as praying to RNGesus that we can beat this section by getting a few Doom Shrooms. The chances of that happening are astronomically low. Meanwhile, we are just getting completely crushed because of the amount of screen door zombies this level. Without a proper defensive wall plants, I realized that playing onwards from the safe state was not going to net any more new results other than defeat, so I went back to the second flag. I was determined to make it to the third flag with a full wall of tallnuts, so I kept trying and reloading into the second flag, to hopefully not die to Jack-in-the-Box zombies. And determined I was. I kept replaying this section of the level until I was happy about what I had ended up when going into the third flag, and it just somehow doesn't work out some way or another every time I try. Catapults spawning by target zombies killing our plants, ladder zombies climbing over our tallnuts, even numerous occasions where Jack-in-the-Box zombies demolish our walls. You name it, I've seen it. The amount of RNG this level is just insane, and the amount of dedication someone has to put in even when save scumming is truly remarkable. After about 10 attempts again, I finally got an attempt where I felt happy about the result. 5 tallness as well as a third planter to help out in outputting damage. I knew that this was definitely a plausible board state to beat the level in. First attempt from the save state, and immediately, karma strikes yet again. It seems like the game just likes to send a zombie when it's the first time you're playing from a new save state. And again, I have to reset the save state back to the third flag. And this time, we get yet another Jack-in-the-Box explosion on the upper half of the screen, demolishing our wall. Oh, but what makes this worse is that in the meantime, a target zombie activated, so there's a bungee ambush, and guess what? A ladder zombie in the bottom to climb over our tall nuts. And at this point, I think the game's just trolling me. And again, just why does it have to be Jack-in-the-Box zombies? Just like in Unsodded, it's always Jack-in-the-Box zombies and they always find a way to ruin your life. Oh, and if you thought this stupid don't die to Jack-in-the-Box explosion simulator ends at strike 4, what if I told you... So yeah, even with save scumming, this level is just pure pain to deal with given the amount of stupidity you have to endure against Jack-in-the-Box zombies. Of course, this cycle of losing against them has to end at some point, and this is it. Just when I thought I was going to lose against the absolute horde of zombies, Lord Doomshroom falls from the heavens from above to save our ass against this menace. And then, when it looked like things were not going to be good as more Jack-in-the-Box zombies creeped up onto our tall nuts, now Goddess Ishroom descends from the heavens to save our ass yet again. Even nicer, a blowover just to push the Jack-in-the-Box away so it can't even explode our tall nuts. Actually just clutch here. And there's one Jack-in-the-Box zombie in the top row and it barely sneaks past to the frontmost zombie so we can kill it just before it can have a chance to be protected and explode our defense. And guess what? That's the last wave before the final wave, and now we just need to survive the final wave of the level, and thankfully, the level is officially over from here on out. To finish it off, a Doomshroom and a Jalapeno to wipe everyone off the board. Absolutely insane. Win. How long did it take? Only 2 hours while save scumming. So realistically, you probably need to spend 10 hours without to win. Is it fair to say this is harder than Unsodded? Well, yeah, if you were going to try and beat this without save scumming, it would truly be designated a difficulty of near impossible. But we did it. That's it for the first 2 pages of minigames of Brutal Mode EX Plus, except one of bowling. Next time, we'll be taking on the survival endless that this mod offers, and we get to see some more new insane interactions. Remember to subscribe to stay tuned, and thank you to our channel members for supporting the RCCH channel. For now, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.